Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is English Digest, and I'm Tom.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie,
and
of course.
Today, of course, we're going to continue talking about cars, more specifically about this program on Discovery Channel called Sticker Shock. And it's all about kind of collectible cars and experts appraising cars for their value, and you can see how much you could sell the car for. I'm not really aware of a similar thing here in Taiwan. I know you love your cars. There are lots, of course, expensive cars on the streets, like Mercedes-Benzes, BMWs, Porsches, and stuff like that. That seems to me all about being flashy, but you got to take it one step further and talk about collectible cars, like from many years ago, that are still in good shape. And, of course, have people appraise those cars. And that's what this show is all about, especially about car culture in the USA.
Yeah, I think cars that are owned by car enthusiasts are cars that are polished and washed carefully every week. You know, they love their car. I think the nice, expensive cars here are more about, like you said, showing off your money. But there are people who absolutely love their car, and they take very, very good care of it. I did have my car back with me in Rochester, New York, when I was going to school, and like you, Tom, I was living in a place that had snow, and they'd put ice on the road, or ice salt, to melt the snow and the ice, which helps you not get into accidents. But it rusts your car and it eats the metal after a while. I literally would go, because I had a new car. It wasn't expensive, but it was mine and it was brand new. So I would go every Saturday and wash the car myself. I didn't have a lot of money. I was a student. Even when it was freezing outside, just to get that salt off the metal, because I hated what it did to cars.
Yes, it does that to cars, but if you live in the southern USA, like Florida, Texas,
no worries,
Arizona, New Mexico, California, etc., you can probably have cars last for many, many decades, and you do see lots of old cars on the roads in those aforementioned states. And remember last time, of course, we were talking about what this program is all about. Hot rods, muscle cars, people appraising the value of the cars. So today, we're going to get down to brass tacks. We're going to get to the nitty-gritty about this program and just see exactly what they do with these cars. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's talk about sticker shock. Let's read through today's lesson one time. Starting off the show is John Sprigato, who believes his fully restored 1931 Chevy Roadster has a value of $30,000. Sprigato tells appraiser Addison Brown that his father bought the car for $10 after returning from World War II. Brown's intrigued by the car's history, as the Roadster was featured in 2 performances by the Beach Boys and at the 1964 New York World's Fair. After seeing documentation of these events, Addison gives the car a value of $60,000 to $75,000, doubling Sprigato's original estimate. When Horace Collins shows up with his custom-built pink 1967 Ford Mustang 390, he's confident that his car will receive a value of at least $120,000. Appraiser Nick Smith is thrilled to see documentation proving Collins' car is one of a kind. However, some modifications, such as the installation of an air conditioner, negatively affect the value. Smith has also noticed some discrepancies in the paint, which cuts the value down further. In the end, Smith values the car at $80,000, disappointing Collins. Things go a lot better for Fester Adams, who's brought his tricked-out 1986 Toyota pickup SR5 mini truck. This truck, which featured a custom paint job done by famous car artist John Kosmowski, once appeared on the front cover of Mini Truckin' magazine. Adams found the car in awful condition in 1996, but preserved as much of the vehicle and the original paint job as he could. Although the truck no longer runs, appraiser Randy Carlson believes it could be worth as much as $100,000. Adams, who'd estimated the truck to be worth $60,000 US, is completely floored. For more sticker shocks like these, check out Sticker Shock on Discovery Channel this January.
Okay, guys, we're talking about Sticker Shock, the Discovery Channel show, which is really about car enthusiasts, people who love their cars. And they're taking their cool cars to have them appraised or evaluated by professionals to see how much they're worth. I think that would be a fun show to watch because I love the Antiques Roadshow. Because sometimes turns out these items people bring to have appraised are actually worth thousands of dollars. So, but these car enthusiasts have a much better idea of how much their car is worth because they've been working on it for a while and taking great care of these things. So starting off the show is John Sbrigato. It looks like an Italian name, although he's a U.S. citizen, of course. We've got lots of different kinds of names in the States. And he believes his fully restored 1931 Chevy Roadster has a value of $30,000. I'm surprised it's not got a higher value because it's an old car, 1931. It's almost 100 years old. So starting off the show, this is the first guy that you'll see in his car when the episode begins. And so he believes his fully restored Chevy Roadster is quite valuable. If you restore something, you take something that's older and you work on it, you do some modifications, some restoration work, which makes it look more brand new than it did before. Usually we use restore when we're working on old pieces of anything. Like my mom used to buy old furniture like chairs and desks and different things that she could take home. They were in bad shape. The wood was ugly, and she'd strip the wood and then sand it, put varnish on it or paint it, and it would look brand new after she was done. She loved doing that. That's restoring something, bringing it back to a state where it looks new again.
Yeah, like in our neighborhood here, near our company, near our studio here, there are a couple of old Japanese homes.
Yeah.
Or homes from the Japanese colonial era, and they have been restored. They look as good as new.
They're beautiful.
They almost look like they're totally different from the original structures to me, but the old structures were kind of old and falling apart, so they did need to restore those old houses. In this particular case, it's a really old car from 1931, a Chevy Roadster. And here the owner, John Sbrigato, believes it's worth $30,000 US. But then he tells the appraiser, Addison Brown, that his father bought the car for $10 US after returning from World War II. So yes, this is the appraiser here who's going to look at the car and determine how much it is worth. And the owner, Mr. Sbrigato here, says, hey, my father bought this car for only $10 after he got back from service in World War II. He was out in the Pacific fighting the Japanese, or he was in Europe fighting the Germans or whatever. So he got back to the United States and he bought this car. He got a good deal for only $10 US. Of course, back in 1945, $10 US was a lot more valuable than it is now, but still, that sounds pretty dirt cheap at any time in history.
Probably more like $500 today.
Possibly, or maybe a couple of hundred, I don't know, but that's still pretty cheap. I'd pay that kind of price for a car. But in any case, Brown, the appraiser, is intrigued by the car's history. If you're intrigued by something, you are interested in it, and you really want to find out more about it. You are very curious. Your curiosity has been triggered or stimulated or aroused. You're very interested. You're very curious about this. Hey, tell me more about the history of this car. Where did you get it? Who owned it before? Who owned it afterwards, etc.? Well, the history seems to indicate that the Roadster was featured in 2 performances by the Beach Boys and at the 1964 New York World's Fair. So, of course, we know the Beach Boys, Surfin' USA. You might know that song, or Round, Round, Get Around, I Get Around. It's a famous American popular musical band from the 1960s. And I guess they had this car in some of their performances. Maybe it was on an album cover or something like that, or they had it at a concert.
They put it in their video, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they had music videos back then, but I think they had films of bands playing with these, props in there. So, yeah, this car could be in that performance. A performance could be anything. Somebody giving some kind of show to somebody. You could see a musical performance at the concert hall, or it could be a drama performance, a performance of Chinese opera, or whatever.
Dance performance. There are lots of types of performances. And they also showed the car at the 1964 New York World's Fair. So this car has been around and admired by a lot of different people. And so after the professional, his name's Addison, after seeing documentation of these events, the owner probably showed him photos and maybe newspaper articles that talked about this car. He gives the car a value of $60,000 to $75,000 US. And that doubles Sbrigato's original estimate. When he brought the car to have it appraised, he thought he might get, the car appraised at $30,000. Wow, what a nice shock. That's a nice increase from what he expected. It's worth even double what he thought it would be worth. I'm surprised it's not worth even more. 1931 and in good shape. Wow, that's a pretty cool possession.
Yeah, he must be very happy there, but of course, when he sells the car to someone, he's going to have to pay a lot of taxes because it's a big capital gain, so watch out for that. But we'll talk about some other examples of cars being appraised in just a couple of seconds, but right now we're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们首先来看到今天的第一台车子到底值多少钱。第一个句子提到 Starting off the show is John Sbrigato, who believes his fully restored 1931 Chevy Roadster has a value of $30,000 US. 这个人呢，他就是打头阵 Start off 是节目的开始或者是出发。他的车子他相信他的 fully restored 完全充分修复好的这台雪佛兰敞篷车会有美金3万元的价值。 Restore 有恢复跟复原的意思，像是复原治安，你就可以说 to restore law and order。但是这里呢，也可以用来指的是一些文物的修复或是整修。I wonder if this picture can be restored， 指的就是我很想知道这幅画到底能不能修复好。而到底有没有这个价格呢？我们看到这一段中间提到 Brown's intrigued by the car's history as the Roadster was featured in 2 performances by the Beach Boys and at the 1964 New York World's Fair. Intrigue 这个动词原本是有激起某人的好奇心跟兴趣的意思。不过在这里用被动的方式来表达，他是被这台车的历史呢非常感到兴趣，因为这辆敞篷车曾经出现在2个海滩男孩的表演，除此之外还出现在1964年的纽约世界博览会当中。在的 fair 指的就是博览会的意思。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're back, guys. We're talking about Sticker Shock, a show on the Discovery Channel, about car enthusiasts, car fans who take their cars in and have professionals appraise them, tell them what they think their real value is, which is kind of a fun thing to watch. You also get to see a lot of very cool cars. And if you're a car lover, I think you'll really enjoy this show. We're moving on to paragraph 2. It says, when Horace Collins shows up with his custom-built pink 1967 Ford Mustang 390, he's confident that his car will receive a value of at least $120,000 I grew up with a dad who loved Ford Mustangs. And we had a Ford Mustang, but it was red, I think. I'm pretty sure it was red. But anyway, when I saw that this Ford Mustang was pink, I said to Tom, oh no. Ford Mustangs can't be pink. Yeah, they're really a kind of a muscle car. I think they need a very strong color, not a girly color. But it's custom built, meaning when they bought it, it wasn't just a car that was sitting in the car lot, where you go to a car company and they have cars that are being displayed. That's usually how you look at the car. Those are just general cars. Custom built means before you buy it and take it home, you say what you want to have maybe inside the engine, if you want leather seats instead of just plain corduroy or some other standard material. If you want a special custom-built car, that's expensive. So that's why this car is so valuable. Now, if you're confident, it means you have confidence. You are pretty sure you're right about something. He's confident. He has a lot of belief that his car will be valued at $120,000 at least.
He's confident of that. He's got this Ford Mustang. Hey, this is a Mustang from the 60s. They're going to love this car. It's pink. It's custom built. It's got to be worth a lot of money. I have no problem believing that this car is going to be appraised at a very high price. Appraiser Nick Smith is thrilled to see documentation proving Column's car is one of a kind. Remember, we said that if you have the original documentation, the original title, I suppose, the original sticker, or any kind of information that came with the car when
maybe
it was first purchased.
Maybe the instruction manual.
That could be part of it as well. So, of course, the appraiser is thrilled. He's really happy. He's really excited when he sees this documentation. I was thrilled when I heard the news that we would be going to Liufu this weekend. Boy, that's an exciting place. I'm thrilled to go there, as an example. So here he's thrilled to see that they have the documentation, and that proves the car is one of a kind. It's special, it's unique, it's custom made, it's custom built. It's not like any other Mustang that was built during that time period.
Yeah, if it's custom built, it's not the kind of car that's put together in the factory on an assembly line where every single car is exactly the same. This really is special. It's no wonder that it's worth so much money. So one of a kind, another way you could say this is to say it's unique. Very unique. It's one of a kind. It's very special. However, we also have some modifications that have been made to the car, such as the installation of an air conditioner, and that negatively affects the value. Of course, in today's world, most people living in, warmer weather need an air conditioner. But back in 1967, there was no air conditioning in cars. That happened later. So
and no power windows either.
No, nothing power, nothing digital, no computer in the car.
Just an AM radio, too.
Yeah, maybe. So that actually brings down the value. For me, as a car owner, that would raise the value. I need air conditioning.
Right, okay, but that's a modification.
Yeah.
It was added later, so that's not the original condition of the car.
Yeah.
So the installation of an air conditioner, when they put it in there, negatively affects the value. It makes the value go down. And Smith, the appraiser, has also noticed some discrepancies in the paint. If you've got a discrepancy, that means things aren't complete. There are some flaws there which make something not complete. Discrepancies, perhaps perhaps someone tells a story.
Something's not matching.
Yeah, somebody tells a story one way, but then somebody else tells a story. It's kind of similar, but there are differences.
Yeah.
So there are discrepancies in those stories. They don't match, and there are discrepancies in the paint. In other words, yeah, maybe it was scratched before and somebody tried to paint it, but the paint is not the exact same shade.
Yeah, it's a little off.
You can tell perhaps that, some paint was chipped off and they repainted it, but they didn't get the exact same shade of pink there. The appraiser's not stupid. He can tell that it's been repainted. So that's a discrepancy. That's something that doesn't match. And that further cuts down the value of the car. And in the end, Smith values the car at only $80,000 US.
Oh.
And Collins is disappointed. Here we're using disappointed as a verb. He is disappointed by this appraisal. Gee, I thought it was worth more than that, and you're telling me it's only worth $80,000 US. I'm disappointed. I'm going to go home and cry.
Yeah, here it's actually being used as a verb. He disappoints someone. He's disappointing Collins. So you fail to fulfill someone's hopes or expectations. You don't tell them what they wanted to hear. Actually, $80,000 is a lot of money. But if you're expecting $120,000, yeah, I can see how Collins is disappointed. So
Sure.
Smith disappointed Collins. Things go a lot better for Fester Adams. Fester is such an old-fashioned name. That's funny. I never see that name anymore.
Yeah, I don't know anybody with that name.
Yeah, that's a name that was popular in the 1800s in the West for cowboys. Fester Adams, he's brought out his tricked-out 1986 Toyota pickup SR5 mini truck. Now, we use this phrase tricked out, guys, to talk about a car that you have added everything cool to it that you can. Maybe you bought it at the time you bought it. It had the standard features, but then you went back and you upgraded everything. You put the best tires, the best hubcaps, the best stereo in it. Everything's cool. It's tricked out. It's got everything that anybody could possibly want. And you can say, I have a tricked out car. So he's got a pickup, which is a truck. That's another word for truck, at least in the United States. And some people will say pickup truck. Some will just say, oh, you want to come with me in my pickup? Or you want to come with me in my pickup truck or my truck? They're all cool. This truck, which featured a custom paint job by famous car artist John Muskie, once appeared on the front cover of Mini Truckin' magazine. So it's kind of famous. It's been on a magazine cover, kind of like a model, right? Models make the front cover of magazines and they think it's cool. Well, Adams found the car in awful condition in 1996, but then he went back and preserved as much of the vehicle in the original paint job as he could. So he tried to not just change everything or modify, he tried to preserve or keep the original parts and paint as much as he could.
But when Adams found the car, it was in awful condition, which means really bad, really terrible. You could describe food that way. Hey, how was the food at the new restaurant? Oh, it was awful. It was terrible. I'm never going to eat there again. So the car was in really bad condition, awful condition.
Maybe it was in a junkyard.
He found it back in 1996, yes, maybe in a junkyard. But he preserved as much of the vehicle and the original paint job as he could. So he washed it and he treated it and tried to keep as much of the original stuff as he could. To preserve something means to basically keep it and to protect it. So yes, he tried to preserve the car as much as he could without getting rid of the paint or anything. And although the truck no longer runs, you can't start it, you can't drive it.
Oh, wow.
Appraiser Randy Carlson believes it could be worth a lot of money, as much as $100,000 US. Wow, that's cool. A Toyota truck could be worth that much. Gee, I'm glad that I bought a Toyota last year.
I'm surprised it doesn't even run, which means that's the verb we use for if a car actually can move, it runs. Does your car run? No, it's not running right now. Doesn't mean it's actually out there, running like people do. Adams had expected the truck to be worth $60,000, but he's shocked. Remember sticker shock? Well, he's completely floored, as if he fainted from shock. We'll often use that. Wow, I was floored when I heard the grade I got on my test was 100%. Floored, you're just completely shocked, surprised.
As if you fainted and fell on the floor,
yep.
As you said, but of course you're not really, but still you're very shocked. So, for more sticker shocks like these, check out Sticker Shock on Discovery Channel this January. Check it out if you're into that sort of thing. And who knows, maybe your car could be worth a fortune as well. That brings us to the end of our explanation. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
接着我们来看到第二台，这个叫做福特野马390的车子，在第二段的第二个句子提到 Appraiser Nick Smith is thrilled to see documentation proving Colin's car is one of a kind. 昨天我们提过呢，这个车子的历史还有文件可以来证明，所以 thrilled 其实是有感到惊讶的。这位鉴定师、估价师非常的兴奋呢，能够看到这些文件，然后证明了他的车是 one of a kind， 是相当的独特，或者我们说 unique. However, some modifications, such as the installation of an air conditioner, negatively affect the value. 然而有一些呢修改呢，像是装了冷气机的这样子的设备，则是呢产生了负面的影响。Modification 昨天介绍过这个名词的用法，它其实是来自于动词 modify， 也有修改更改的意思。常常我们要修改计划，就可以说 to modify a plan。那像是这后面的名词 installation 装置架设，它来自于动词 install。比如说要在房子里面装空调冷气机，你就可以说 to install an air conditioner in the house。而它这样子呢修改装设空调，则是产生了负面的印象。In the end, Smith values the car at $80,000, disappointing Collins. 到最后呢，这位估价师把这辆车定价为美金8万块钱，让 Collins 是非常的失望，因为原本他认为至少价值美金12万元。接着来看到第三台车，我们来看一下中间的句子提到 Adams found the car in awful condition in 1996, but preserved as much of the vehicle and the original paint job as he could.我们在这里要看到的是 find 后面加受词，我们加了一个介系词的片语 in awful condition 来修饰这个受词的状态。Adams 发现了这台车其实状况不太好，当时是1996年 but preserved 但是呢他保存了大部分这个车子的部分跟原先的车漆，在这里讲的就是 the original paint job， 以至于呢大家认为它有可能价值高达美金10万元。Adams, who'd estimated the truck to be worth $60,000, is completely floored. 在这里提到呢 Adams 他本来预计这台货车会值美金6万块钱，他则是惊讶的说不出话来。大家一定会很好奇，为什么用 floored 这个字呢？原来 floor 当作动词，有使茫然、震惊的意思。Somebody is completely floored 则是指这个人惊讶的说不出话来的意思。OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That's all for today. Thank you for joining us, and please join us next time for another edition of our program. We'll be so happy when you join us then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
See ya.